Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is MrYorkiesWorld. Apologies that this video is a little bit later than expected. However, as you can see, we are back on the ground at gate D6 with the British Airways 747. Today we're going to be taking British Airways 108 from here in Dubai over to Heathrow. I do apologise about the live stream as well. That got cancelled because we had family issues. I'm not going to go into detail about that, but quite a lot has happened, so that's it. But anyways, let's get into things. So we're going to go ahead and go to FS Actions and Fuel. And today we're actually going to be taking a total of £171,236 of fuel. Now, the flight time is going to be approximately 7 hours and 41 minutes, so it's not the longest long haul, but it's still quite a long haul. We're going to get some catering on the go, I guess. Let's just expand this window and put it down into the lower left-hand corner, as I always have it. And we can wait for the catering services to arrive and everything. So we can request clearance while we're at it.
108. The 8 is request clearance. 108.
IRSs to nav, and we've got to wait 2 minutes just for clearance to be completed. So the nav lights can come on. And while we're at it, we can set the auto brake to RTO, and the seat belts and no smoking signs can go on. Transponder obviously to XPDR. You can see that the barometer's already been set, the altimeter there. Here we go.
Are you ready to copy? We are ready. Go ahead. 108. Roger. Expect runway 30 right. Clear to EG.
Okay, so 30 right. That is 300 on the heading. 6,000 feet on the initial altitude. And as ever, we can go ahead into the FMC now and set everything up. So OMDB, we are at gate D6 if it's going to work. There we are. And I'm going to take the gate position and put it straight into the IRS position. Route, request, and we have got a route set up. It's OMDB to EGLL. We're going to be having some serious frame rate issues over at EGLL, and that is because, again, this is Heathrow that we're talking about, so get ready for that. We can switch on the VORs and the data and the traffic and everything with the flight director, and obviously copy that onto the other side as well. But look at that, we've got an Emirates to our right, we've got some vehicles getting ready for the catering and the baggage and everything. We might as well switch on the engine page just for reference. In fact, no, we can switch on the engine page in a bit, we don't need that just yet. Load the uplink. And on the second FMC, I'm going to go ahead and put in the fix information for Heathrow. So, EGLL. We can go 50, 100 and 150 miles radius rings, just as I always do. Thank you very much, by the way, everybody, for the support I've been having on the latest videos. I really do appreciate everybody's support and kind words and stuff like that. I'm hoping that these live streams that I've promised for quite a while now will eventually start. I've got no idea when they're going to begin, but we can get into that in just a bit. So clear that, and we can go ahead and calculate the zero fuel weight, which is 493. Our reserves today are going to be 10.8. Our altitude is actually going to be 370. And in terms of cost index, BA actually uses 90 as the cost index for the 747, so we're going to stick that in there. It does say insufficient fuel, and that's because of the particular leg. And we had this in the last video, actually. One of the legs is sort of one of those that sends you into the middle of nowhere for no reason whatsoever. So we need to clean that up, which is a pretty straightforward process. If we go to the init ref page, in fact, we're going to go straight to legs and get it done now. So EFIS on that side, FMC on this side, we can switch to plan mode. And if we go through the route, let me zoom out a little bit. You'll be able to see it in just a sec. If we skip through the entire route, you'll be able to see the waypoint that I'm on about. There we go. It's the ALI, or ALI, waypoint, which basically sends us into the middle of nowhere. So if we just clean it up like that, there we are, gone. And now the insufficient fuel warning will not come up. The rest of the route's fine, as you can see. Not too much to worry about. Pro ATCX will end up asking us to still follow that waypoint at some point, because obviously it doesn't connect directly to the FMC, so it doesn't know that we've changed it if in the FMC. But we can request direct from the route in between that to the route after that. It's fine. Flaps 20 now, and we can also calculate our V speeds. 158 is our V2 speed, so we can go ahead and put that into the V2 speed selector, or the speed hold selector, if you will. And if we request flight information, we can see that we're going to be using the Rider 1 Foxtrot from runway 30 right, SID. So if we go through the list, there we are, Rider 1 Foxtrot, execute, and that is basically all she wrote. So we've sorted that out now. We've got the SID programmed in. We've got rid of the waypoint that we didn't need. We can start the APU. We might as well go ahead and activate the fuel pumps. You can see that we've got fuel in the left, fuel in the right, nothing in the centre. So we know that we can switch on the relevant fuel pumps. And we can also, in just a second, set the parking brake. And that is about it, really. Apart from that, we can arm LNAV and VNAV. We need to close some doors for GSX. They're on the way to being shut. We can request boarding early. It's going to still have to wait until the other services is completed, but there we go. Open the cargo doors, because I always forget to do that for some reason when it comes to starting the boarding process. I've set up a custom panel startup state for the 747 to get rid of the master caution error. So I forgot to set it with the cargo doors open, but there we go. Nevertheless, we can open the main exits, or main entries and exits, or whatever you want to call it. We've got an Emirates there, and that is essentially all she wrote. We're just going to wait and see how long it's going to take for the passengers to board the aircraft. Shouldn't be too long, and we should be up in the air. So I will be right back with you guys once we are finally boarded and ready to get ourselves off the ground. Alright, so the last box of cargo, or baggage, or whatever you want to call it, is finally going into the hold. Look how beautiful this aircraft looks. I adore the 747. I'm so happy that I actually made that decision to purchase the aircraft. It's a huge chunk of money, but there we go. Fantastic, right. We can close the doors now because we don't need them open anymore. The forward and aft cargo. And of course we can arm the doors as well. That's closing. We can detach the jetway now. We're surrounded by quite a few Emirates. I don't know whether or not we're at the right gate for BA, but again, I really don't care. We are getting out of here soon anyway. So APU gens, pack 1. We can switch on the beacon light, and the 4th hydraulic pump can go on to AUX. Just switch the second FMC back onto the menu page and then onto the legs page. And the init ref page on here, we can go to takeoff ref. 5.5 is the trim. Might as well switch on the rest of the hydraulics now. And we can configure that trim to 5.5. Which, to me, is about there. I'm not going to mess about. That seems right for me. So, with that said, we can bring up the engine page.
Grant, Speedbird 108. Request startup.
Request a startup and pushback.
Startup is approved. Roger. Startup approved. Speedbird 108.
And request it from GSX. Prepare for pushback and departure. So we're going to do a straight pushback with a manual stop today. There's the truck coming into position. And with that we can remove ground connections as well. Give TCAS a quick test.
TCAS test passed.
Which it's passed, fantastic, as always.
Good day, sir. Just waiting for some apron traffic while the duck's positioning. Be pushing back in a couple of minutes. Parking brake on, please.
Parking brake's already set, that's fine, that's no problem at all. You can see that we have got a few warnings on there, and that's because the engines aren't started, but it will go away as soon as we do start the engines. That's fine. And any moment now we should be asked to release the parking brake and we should be on our way. Everything's set as it should be, there's nothing up there that needs to be changed.
Release parking brakes, please.
Parking brake released.
Clear behind. Commencing push. Engines clear. Start at your discretion.
4 and 3. And 4 and 3. And if you listen carefully, those engines beginning to spool up. Listen to that. Now you can see that, I believe, is an A380. Looks like. Big Emirates. That's 4 and 3 started. We can start 2 and 1 now. Add some fuel. Look at the view though, it's absolutely lovely. Traffic going on in the background. Again, don't get too attached to the frame rate that we're actually experiencing at the moment. I was going to say suffering then, but no, we're not suffering. We're doing a pretty good run at the moment. Over at Heathrow, it's not going to be like that. It's going to be terrible, absolutely terrible. It is going to be a living hell in terms of frame rates. It's the UK 2000 Heathrow Extremes, so... Right, set the parking brakes. And what else should we do? Everything else, we're just going to wait for the engines to start before we can do everything else really, but we will do a quick control check in just a second. A380 over there, love it. In fact, there's a few of them in a line. Whoa, okay then. And we've got one that's just spawned into our gate. Fantastic. So, full forward, full back, rudder left, rudder right, and we can do full left, and full right. There we go. Looking nice. That's the control check done. Where's the there we go. Forgot where the button was for a second. Right, 4th hydraulics auto. Rest of the pack's on. The aft cargo heat can be sorted out as well. I do forget about that. It's not on every one of the 747 models. Right, okay, so flaps 20. There we are. The trim's already set. And if I manage to spawn myself or get myself over here, we can actually see the flaps coming down before it's too late. There we go. Need to sort the Easy Dock settings out. Those flaps going down to 20. like so. Loving the ground textures as well. The ground textures are really really detailed on the Fly Tampa scenery. And the trees as well. Looking good. When they eventually get down to 20 and these massive wings. Right, okay, so yeah, the A380 in front of us has just randomly decided to steal our parking spot. So, runway turnoffs. We don't have taxi lights on this aircraft, so I believe it's the two inboard landing lights that are used. Correct me if I'm wrong. We need to sort the fuel overrides out. I forgot to do that, actually. Don't know why I left those out. That was a bit stupid of me. You can see the only warning now is the TCAS. That's fine. We can switch off the APU. We don't need the logo or the wing on because it's early in the morning. Don't know why the time says 3:19 in the morning. It's certainly not. It's about 7:30 in the morning at the moment. Something like that, or 6:45. I can't remember what I set it to. Right. And without further ado, that's the parking brake released. We can begin our 90-degree turn to the left onto the taxiway and towards the runway. Looking pretty good. I hope the wing doesn't catch that APU of the A380. Nevertheless, we are moving. That is it, the taxi has begun. So, as we're taxiing towards the runway, let me just tell you a little bit of information about this flight. Again, this is from OMDB in Dubai, or this is Dubai, to EGLL, which is Heathrow, London Heathrow, with British Airways BAW108 or Speedbird 108. And the distance that we're going to be travelling is approximately 3,609 miles. And it's going to be taking about 7 hours and 41 minutes. So I'm going to turn, as you can see at the moment, I'm messing around with some easy dock settings. I'm just trying to turn things off because I don't like the ground rumble that's going on. Nevertheless, I will see you guys once we actually get to runway 30 right, which is not too far away from our current position, so see you in a minute. Okay, so as you can see, we are holding short of runway 30 right. We do have a big A380 on its way in. And this should be pretty spectacular. The textures haven't actually loaded in fully, I don't think, or either that or they have, but as the aircraft comes a little bit closer, you should be able to see things a little bit better. There we are. The engines were blanked out, sort of. Oh, he's doing a go-around. Okay, we've got an A380 going around. I have no idea why that is, but look at that. That was a pretty good sight. See if we can see him over here. Yep, there he goes. That was pretty spectacular. Ultimate Traffic Live, by the way, if anybody's wondering where that AI traffic comes from. I get asked that a hell of a lot. And the ATC sounds are from Pro ATCX. We've got another aircraft coming in. I think that looks like a... Yep, that's another A380. Look at the haze and the traffic and everything in the background. The plants and the trees. Or just the trees, should I say. I wonder if he's actually going to go around like the other one, or whether he's going to land. It'd be pretty strange if he also went around. I've no idea why. There was no traffic on the runway from what I could see, but maybe there was something from ATC telling him to go around or something. Looks like it's coming in though. Here we go. This one's a little bit lower than the other one was, so the other one might have been a bit too high. And that was a bit of a heavy landing for a large aircraft, but look at that, the smoke effects. That's it, I think. I think we should be the next one on the runway. Or lining up, at least. Just got to wait until ATC confirms that. You can see that the aircraft's off the runway. There we go.
30 right, speedbird 108.
Lights are already configured, so when we go onto the runway we won't have to mess about with them. A little bit too much power there by me. Easy does it, Yorkie, easy does it. You are in a 747. I doubt that we're going to need all of the runway, but nevertheless. Here we go, we're on the runway.
Speedbird 108, wind 23085, runway 30 right for takeoff, safe flight.
Sorted, start the clock.
Right, cleared for takeoff. Speedbird 108.
We can spool up the engines a little bit to around 50%. And there we go.
Airspeed alive.
Nice and central with the runway.
80 knots.
80 knots checked. V1 coming up.
V1. Rotate.
And rotate. Nice and gently does it. Get this bird off the ground.
Positive rate of climb.
There we go. And gear up. Following the flight director for just a few seconds. Well, it said fright director then. That would have been a bit strange.
Departure. Speedbird 108. With
Look
you,
at that view.
for 6,000.
That is absolutely amazing. Nice haze in the background like there is in Dubai. Not quite as much as what there is in the sim, but nevertheless.
Romeo, India, Delta Alpha 1 Foxtrot. Departure climbing to 6,000.
Runway turn-offs can come off.
108.
I'm not really liking the rumble that's coming from EasyDock, but look at that. That is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. The visibility is not actually that good ahead of us, to be honest, once we're off the ground.
108.
Yeah, I don't like these effects by EasyDock, the shaking, so what I might do is go into the EasyDock settings. I'm just going to turn it off. There we go. It's a fantastic effect in certain circumstances, but sometimes it's a little bit overkill in certain aircraft. Seatbelts to auto now. The auto brake automatically disarms, which is fantastic. Look at that. So without further ado, there's nothing else really that we can do apart from look around and see nothing but haze and follow ATC's instructions. So what we will do is we will skip to a little bit of cinematic action, and in a good few hours, approximately 7 hours, we should be about ready to configure our descent and land. So I'll see you in a bit. Okay guys, so we are several hours later now. I don't know whether the time's right on there, I have no idea. The clock was set to about 3 something in the morning and it's now 10:29, but I don't know whether that takes into account the correct factors. But anyways, we're going to initialise descent.
Descending to flight level 240.
240.
108.
And we're about ready to configure our approach into good old London Heathrow. So if we go to flight plan information on Pro ATCX, you can see that we're using the Big 4 Bravo ILS 27 right approach, and if we bring up Avlasoft EFB, we can select the approach, and just to confirm, it was ILS 27 right, that's right, okay. The big transition with the Big 4 Bravo star. So 27 right, and it's ILS runway 27 right. So we can stick that on there using the big transition. Click OK on that. And then we can go ahead and get the decision altitude, which is 282. Avlasoft is a fantastic piece of kit. I've been speaking about it quite a lot in my videos, but I've never actually shown you guys. So anyways, we're going to put 282 into the decision altitude. Eventually, I hate this. I absolutely hate it when you have to use the click spot. It should just be a thing that you can do with your mouse wheel. It would make it a hell of a lot easier. I think there is an option in the FMC actually, but well, there is for the 777, but I don't know about the 747. I've not found it yet. I might not be looking in the right place. I've no idea. We will get there eventually. At some point soon. There we go. Right. So the next step, we can go ahead and set auto brakes. We're going to use auto brake 2. And we're also going to go ahead and initialise our own descent, seeing as the FMC is not programmed correctly with the VNAV profile. But anyways, there we go. We have begun the descent into London Heathrow. Hopefully nothing will go wrong. Knowing my luck, it probably will. But there we go, beginning our left turn. I nearly said right turn then. And I'll be back with you guys in a little bit. Okay guys, so a lot's happened since we last spoke. Pro ATCX has completely crashed. I've had to reset Ultimate Traffic Live, and to top it all off, our frame rate is absolutely ridiculous because, again, this is UK 2000's London scenery. We've got London Gatwick in the distance somewhere, we've got London Heathrow, and with that we've got Orbex, FTX Global and FTX England, so there's a lot going on. We've got Active Sky and all that lot. You can probably tell by the frame rate there that we are literally down the toilet. The engines have disappeared, we no longer have any left engines. Everything has just decided to go completely... Oh, there we go. They're back. Everything has decided to go completely wrong. We've had to manually vector ourselves onto this approach because, again, Pro ATCX just completely destroyed itself, self-destructed, so... Welcome to Heathrow before we even get on the floor. Right. Okay. So the localizer has been captured. The glide slope is on its way to being captured. We're looking sort of okay. Don't know what's happening with the trees down there. They look very unusual, as always, in all of my UK 2000 scenery. Gear's on its way down. Landing lights are on and everything. Look at that. Looks like the nose is quite high, but it's not actually that high. We've slightly overshot the localizer. We're going to be using flaps 30 at 137 knots for our final approach speed. It's looking alright. I mean, the looks of things aren't too bad. It's just literally the performance is absolutely down the pan. I'm already having to take flaps 30 purely and simply because the nose is lifting itself up. Not much I can do about that. I'm going to clear the airspace ahead of the aircraft using Ultimate Traffic Live because I really don't fancy doing a go-around. Look at the frame rate. And this is, again, this is the latest version of everything. All the add-ons are updated. This is P3D 4.2. And still, we have an immense amount of stuttering and lag. And the textures are taking... I mean, the traffic probably isn't doing me much good. And like the shadows and stuff like that, they're probably not helping the frame rates, but... Look at that view. All about the views. Radio altimeter, there we go. The views on this are absolutely fantastic. I mean, I can sacrifice... I don't mind sacrificing performance like this because, to be honest, it's entirely worth it. For getting the experience. It's entirely worth it. Right, okay. So the landing checklist is complete. The flaps are down to 30, the gear's down. We're slowing down to our final approach speed. Auto brakes set. The minimums is already set as well. It's been an immense amount of time. It's been a long journey, and this is probably the worst what's about to happen now, because either the sim's going to crash or we're going to manage to get ourselves down, and hopefully the latter option will occur. But look at that, apart from the engines obviously, look at that. You can see the runway ahead. Not going to disconnect until we get to 1,000 feet, just to be safe. I haven't quite mastered the art of doing that early just yet. I know a lot of people such as Matt Davies, Chewy94 and other flight simmers out there tend to disconnect before 1,000 feet, which is fine. They know what they're doing, but I prefer to wait until 1,000 feet, just to be safe. The aircraft is capable of landing itself, so if all else went wrong, then we would potentially have to do an auto land, but there's no reason to do that at the moment. There's no emergency or anything like that that forces us to have to use an auto land. 1,000 feet. I'm going to disconnect now. There we go. Wish me luck, people. It should be a little bit better once we get on the ground, but no promises. Trying to keep the nose up a little bit, just so that we're just above the glide. It's better off to be higher than low, or too high than too low. You can always lose a few feet if you need to. 500 feet. Frames are beginning to pick up a little bit now, but not much.
400.
You'll notice it more when I'm panning around in Easy Dock.
300. Approaching minimums. 200. Minimums.
Continuing. Looking good.
100.
Frames have gone down again.
50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
And just managed to grease it. I thought we were going to hit the ground quite hard then, but luckily not. Reverses are green. We are down. We have made it despite all the problems that we've experienced. Manual braking. I'm going to take this exit to the left. Again, we don't have ATC, so that's the reason that that that's happened, because Pro ATCX has decided to completely brake. So we're going to have to find our own way to the gate. Look at the stutter. Oh my goodness me. That is bad. I'm going to stop here just to get my bearings and just to clean up a little bit in the aircraft. Flaps are all the way up already. The parking brake is set. We can disarm or take off the auto brake completely. VORs, traffic and data can all come off, and we will make our way to the gate. Start the APU. Configure the lights. Again, the inboard for the taxi. Strobes off. And that's it. Whoa, look at that. So much lag. Right, which gate are we going to? Let's have a look. Gate, right. We'll just go for the nearest one. 218, that's fine. We're going to request to follow me as well, but just because of just for the hell of it. Right, okay. So, let's get to the gate. Alright, so the follow me is taking us to the right here, and the gate... Wow, look at the stutter. Oh, I can't believe it. Oh, this is terrible. I think I could probably repair the stutter problem if I turned down the settings completely. Like, everything to almost off, but it would just ruin the visuals. Oops. Right, there we go. Sort the lights out. And we are at this gate here, which is 218. That's 218 left. And I'm assuming that's 218 right at the other side there. If there's a left, there must be a right, surely. Nevertheless, it's not telling me how far away I am from the gate, which is a bit of a worry. So we're just going to have to do a guessing game. That's something else that's broken as well. Everything appears to have broken today. And to be honest, I am just going to throw this aircraft anywhere. I mean, for the hell of it, let's take a look at it. What we're dealing with here? Well, we're not in an aircraft. It seems to... Oh, there we go. Thought we'd magically left the aircraft behind then. Right, anyway. We're going to stop there. I've no idea whether that's right. I really don't care. This has been a very long and, towards the end, a very treacherous video. APU gens. And I've got some sort of warning, which I will sort out in a minute. Nevertheless, guys, that is it. Welcome, everybody, to London Heathrow. Jetways connecting. Fuel pumps can come off. That has got to be the most ridiculous flight I've ever done. Hydraulics off. Beacon lights and stuff like that can all come off. I'm just going to turn everything off, to be honest. But that is it. I hope you enjoyed the majority of this flight. We can begin deboarding now with British Airways. It's actually got the right livery for deboarding, which is, I suppose, a positive. But anyways, thank you for watching, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any suggestions on a future flight that you'd like me to do, go ahead and put it in the comments section. And I will be sure to add that to the list. But anyways, here we go. British Airways, flight number's 108, I know you said 08. Flight number 108, Speedbird 108 in the bag. Dubai to Heathrow. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.